Welcome back to the Business Book Club. Today, we're diving into a book that's become really a cornerstone for modern product teams. It's Dan Olsen's The Lean Product Playbook.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, if the lean startup movement gave us the philosophy, Olson's playbook gives us the actual, well, the playbook, the step-by-step instructions.
How to.
Exactly. It's the missing manual for getting to that one thing every company is chasing, product market fit.
And that is our mission for you today. We're going to unpack the core framework from this book, the lean product process, because it brings a system, a structure to what can feel like total chaos.
Right. And following it helps you avoid wasting a ton of time and money building something nobody wants.
So where does Olsen start? What's the central idea here?
It all revolves around a single visual metaphor, which is the product market fit pyramid.
A pyramid. Okay. Yep.
Imagine 5 layers. The whole goal is to make sure the top of the pyramid is perfectly supported by the bottom. The bottom layers are the market, what he calls the problem space.
And what are those layers specifically?
So the very foundation, layer 1, is your target customer. Right above that, layer 2 is their underserved needs.
Okay, so who they are and what they're struggling with.
Exactly. Then you move up into the solution space, which is your product. Layer 3 is your value proposition.
How you solve their problem better than anyone else.
Layer 4 is your feature set, and then right at the very top, layer 5 is the user experience, or UX.
It makes a lot of sense visually, and the whole process is about locking those layers together.
That's the entire game. And to do that, he lays out the 6-step lean product process.
Which starts at the bottom of that pyramid, right, in the problem space.
Absolutely. The first 3 steps are all about strategy. Step 1, determine your target customer. Step 2, identify their underserved needs. Step 3, define your value proposition.
And only then do you start building anything.
Only then. Step 4 is specifying your MVP feature set. Step 5 is creating your MVP prototype. And finally, step 6, you test it with customers.
Let's dig into that foundation then. Step 1, determine your target customer. Olsen makes a big point about shifting from solution thinking to problem thinking.
Oh, it's critical. So many teams start with, let's build an app that does X, and it is no, stop. The first question is, what problem are we solving and for whom?
And strategy, he says, starts with who your product is not for.
Right. You have to segment. And he's a big fan of needs-based segmentation.
I think the drop cam example he uses is perfect for this.
It is. You had parents watching a baby monitor, business owners needing security, pet owners checking in on their dogs.
Totally different people.
Wildly different demographics.
Yeah.
But they all shared one core underserved need: to easily capture and view video remotely. That shared need is this segment.
And once you have that segment, you create personas. These are sort of archetypes.
Yeah, hypothetical archetypes. They're not real people, but they represent the goals and behaviors of your target user.
Yep.
It just gets the whole team on the same page.
Okay, so that's step 1. Then we move to step 2, identify underserved needs. How do we find those?
He introduces a fantastic tool for this: the importance versus satisfaction framework.
A 2x2 grid.
A 2x2. You ask customers to rate different needs on 1, how important is it to you, and 2, how satisfied are you with how it's being met today.
And the sweet spot is obviously high importance, low satisfaction.
That's your gold mine. That's the upper left quadrant. That's where opportunity lives. Think about Uber before it existed.
Right. Getting a ride was important, but satisfaction with taxis?
It was in the basement. You never knew if one would show up. You couldn't pay easily. You had no idea when it would arrive. Uber just ruthlessly attacked all those high-importance, low-satisfaction needs.
It wasn't just a 10x improvement. It was solving a dozen little frustrations.
And that's about peeling the onion, as he calls it. You have to get to the core benefits. The benefit of TurboTax isn't just filling out a form. It's the peace of mind that you're getting your maximum refund and won't get audited.
That makes sense. It's the emotion behind the feature.
And you can't forget the basics. He has this hierarchy of user needs, and at the bottom are things like uptime and performance. If your app is slow or crashes, nobody cares about your cool features.
Which brings us to step 3, defining your value proposition. This is really about strategy.
It's all strategy. It's deciding what you're not going to do.
And the Kano model is a great tool here for organizing your thinking against competitors.
It's perfect for it. You break features down into 3 buckets. First are the must-haves. These are the things people just expect. If they're not there, people are upset.
Like a hotel room having a bed.
Exactly. Then you have performance benefits. Here, more is better, faster speed, more storage, that kind of thing.
And the third type.
Those are the delighters. The unexpected cool little things that make people say, wow. Like when Google Instant started showing results as you typed, it saved maybe 2 seconds, but it felt like magic.
But there's a huge warning here, right? He uses the example of Cool, the search engine that tried to take on Google.
Yes, this is such a critical lesson. Kuehl had a different interface, a potential delighter, but it failed because it couldn't compete with Google on the core performance benefits, search relevance, and speed.
So you have to be at least as good as the market leader on the must-haves.
You have to earn the right to be different. If you can't match the incumbent on the things that matter most to users, your delighters are completely irrelevant.
That's a powerful lesson. Okay, so once that strategy is set, we finally move into the solution space with steps 4 and 5, building the MVP.
The minimum viable product. And the key word there is minimum. It's a candidate, an experiment built to test your biggest assumptions.
But how do you decide what's in that minimum set? It feels like that could be a huge fight.
It often is. That's why you need a framework. Olsen suggests a simple return versus investment grid.
So customer value versus engineering effort.
Precisely. It's a 3x3 grid. You force the team to score every potential feature on how much value it gives the customer versus how hard it is to build.
And you start with the high-return, low-effort features, the quick wins.
You have to. It forces you to have the tough conversation and maybe delay that really cool but super complex feature for a later version.
Now, you don't always have to build software to test these things, right? There are different kinds of MVP tests.
A whole matrix of them. You can do things that are qualitative or quantitative, focused on marketing or the product itself.
Like a simple landing page.
That's a classic marketing MVP. You're just testing demand. But on the product side, you can get really clever. Think of the concierge MVP.
That's like the early days of Airbnb, right?
That's the story. They had a hypothesis that better photos would increase bookings. So they didn't build a feature. They literally went door to door with a camera and took professional photos for their hosts.
They did it manually to prove the value first.
The value, then automated it. It's brilliant.
Okay, so you've built your MVP, whatever form it takes. Now, step 6 is to test it with customers.
And this is where you cure what Olsen calls product blindness.
Yeah.
You've been staring at this thing for so long, you can't see the obvious flaws anymore.
How many users do you need for these tests?
You'd be surprised. He says you can uncover most of the big issues with just 5 to 8 users per wave of testing.
The key, I imagine, is knowing what kind of feedback you're listening for.
It's so important. You have to separate usability feedback like this button is confusing from product market fit feedback, which is I need this. This solves a huge problem for me.
Because if the usability is terrible, they can't even get to the point of evaluating the value.
Exactly. Bad UX can give you a false negative on your entire idea, which is why understanding the UX design iceberg is so important.
The idea that the visual design is just the tiny tip you see.
Right. Below the surface, you have all the foundational stuff. Interaction design, information architecture, and the deepest layer, conceptual design.
The user's mental model of how the thing works.
If you get that wrong, no amount of pretty colors can save you.
So once you've gone through all 6 steps, you're done.
Oh, no. Now the real work begins. You enter a loop. He calls it the hypothesize, design, test, learn loop.
That sounds a lot like the classic build, measure, learn loop.
It's a subtle but really important difference. He puts hypothesize first.
So you have to explicitly state your assumption before you design or build anything?
You write it down. We believe this type of customer has this problem and that this solution will help. It forces clarity.
Then once the product is live, you shift to optimizing with data. I know the pirate metrics, AARR, are a big part of this.
They are acquisition, activation, retention, revenue, and referral. But for measuring product market fit itself, one metric stands above all others.
Let me guess. Retention.
Retention rate. You measure it with cohort analysis. If you see that your retention curves are getting better over time, meaning newer users are sticking around longer, that is the clearest quantitative signal that you're improving PMF.
And to find what to improve, you need to find the one metric that matters most. The MTMM.
Right. The Friendster case study is just a masterclass in this. Their goal was growth. They dug in and found their MTMM was the average number of invites sent per sender.
And they focused all their energy on just moving that one number.
They hypothesized an address book importer would do it. They built it, and in 1 week, they increased their viral growth by 2.3 times. That's the power of focus.
Incredible. Okay, so to wrap this up, if someone listening is in the trenches building a product right now, what are the key takeaways they can use immediately?
Number 1, Write down your hypotheses. Make your assumptions explicit. It changes everything.
Okay.
2, keep your batch sizes small. Smaller scope means less risk and faster feedback.
And third?
Don't jump to code. Test your designs first. A prototype, a mock-up. It is so much cheaper and faster to iterate on a picture than on a fully engineered feature.
That's all incredibly practical. But there's one last really hard decision this process forces you to confront.
There is. It's the ultimate question. Whether to persevere or to pivot.
When do you know?
If you've run through this loop several times, you've tweaked the MVP, you've tried different segments, and the feedback is still just lukewarm. They kind of like it, but they wouldn't really miss it if it were gone.
That's when you have to have the hard conversation.
You have to be willing to say, our core hypothesis was wrong. A pivot isn't a failure of the team. It's deciding to take what you've learned and go climb a different, better mountain.
It's about finding that customer who is truly excited, not just passively satisfied.
That's where true product market fit lies.
This framework is just a fantastic roadmap for reducing risk and building things people actually want. Use it to increase your hit rate. Thanks for tuning in to the Business Book Club. Make sure you subscribe for our next deep dive.
Now, that's a wrap for this episode of the Business Book Club. If you enjoyed the ride, make sure to subscribe so you'll never miss our next deep dive. Got a favorite business book you'd love us to explore? Let us know. We're always up for a good read. And hey, don't keep all these insights to yourself. Share this episode with a fellow book lover or your work buddy who's always looking to level up. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode.